sometimes we like to celebrate others, but one thing I would not get involved in is, again, is yoga, using sage, because I bought it in my season where they're like, oh, it's good for cleansing. I was still learning. I didn't know it was bad. I was creating open doors because I was trying to figure out what was happening to me. Because I was seeing things. I'm like, this gotta be a movie. Like, I was seeing things like it didn't seem real. I remember, I'll go back to that, but I remember like when I was going through this spiritual warfare, I literally drove to people I knew. I left my phone at home and I drove to people I knew to ask them if they could feel me or if they could see me, because I literally thought I was in a movie or something, because I'm like, this cannot be real. Like, be in the spiritual to that depth. Like, it didn't. Some people were happy because they're like, oh yeah, she going crazy. No, I was like, learning. And I was like, man, but you have to know when to come out. Because if you stay stuck in the spiritual too long, it will make you feel like you're losing it. But being able to see snapping and snap, it is crazy. But yeah, I first tried, and I never tried it again because I didn't like how I felt. I first did yoga, I think the ending of 2022. Yeah, I think it was the ending of 2022. I think so. Can't remember 100%. But in order for me to see the accuracy, I have to check like a receipt. Let me see. I want to get the dates correct. Let me see this. I really think it was 2022. 2023. It was December. Yep. Actually, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It was the ending of 2021. Yep. It was the ending of 2021 because I started this thing with the person, the beginning of Jesus. Revelation. Jesus, my Lord. So I created an open door. So I did yoga in 2021. I used Sage. I signed up for a session with a person who I later was discerning something negative, like she was into witchcraft. So I ended the session. those became my open doors. Jesus. Because I remember this particular person started asking me, like, I was telling her certain dreams. Whole time she was praying against, like, Jesus. Whole time she was praying against. And then I went to the session later on that August. That's when I went to the conference. Jesus. I open doors. I open doors. And from since then, never did yoga, never used Sage, and I went to different therapists because I wanted to grow. I wanted to work on certain things. And people start off good, but then somehow things change. And once this sermon kick in, it's like bye-bye. Because if I go in for one thing, we're working on that. But then you asking me a question that is not going to help the situation, but looking for ways to try to come at me, or looking for ways like telling me I need friends, I need community. I'm like, until God give it to me, I'm not forcing myself. And then to make it seem like, oh, like I'm not desperate. I haven't had a friend in years because people I thought who were friends, they weren't friends. So technically, I've been solo since I gave myself to God 2021. So that's May 2021 because I started cutting people out in May. Because, yeah. I didn't say I'm perfect, but I wanted to figure out what was going on. And the things people say, like if I said something and I'm just going through stuff, trying to figure out what happened to me, and you respond to that, man, you wanted to say that all the time. You was just looking for a reason to say it. So, let's be real. So, yeah. People will try to make you seem like you need to have company. Yes, it's good to be around people, but if I'm around people who want to try to bring me back to the old version of me, I do not need to be around said people. I never said I was better than anyone. I'm just saying I need to become a better version of myself and be the person God called me to be. And I want people to tell me I'm wrong when I'm wrong. Not watch stuff happen to me and don't say anything. Or attack me instead of working on themselves. Allow the enemy to use you to attack me. Like, we're not having that. So, yeah. Be discerning. And then later I found out that there were certain stretches that I used to do at the gym groups, that they were forms of yoga stretches, because they'll be like the downward dog and different thing like that. I didn't even realize those were yoga poses until one day I was doing that class, And they start running around me in a circle. And I was like, I felt weird. I never went back. I felt weird. And God was revealing stuff to me within that moment. I was like, yeah. People will say it's an exercise, that's a business. I had a mentor like a little over a month ago, and I would say certain thing and she'll be like, oh, what you saying is like Reiki. I'm like, I don't know anything about Reiki or Reiki or whatever the case is. I'm like, I'm just following what I discern. So these things that's God given that might appear similar to that in New Age, but it's not the same. One is good and one is evil. To each his own. Because in scriptures it say we're not supposed to be into divination and those kind of stuff. Just like you have a prophet and you have a psychic. One gets this from God, one gets this from a familiar spirit. So yeah, to each his own, but stay prayed up, stay blessed, and thank God for that revelation. Don't mind sharing it, because sometimes it happens like that. Like, that's crazy. So it started 2021. And the reason I said that, because when I left that class they had in 2021, I felt confused. Like, God is not the author of confusion, the devil is. So if I left a place and I felt confused, the devil was somewhere in the works. Yeah. Stay prayed up.